Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Breakfast Show. It's Monday. It's a very short trading or investing week. On Thursday, Thanksgiving market will be closed. On Friday, it's going to be around half a day or so. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. In the chat, we do have some green pre-market. We have some specific news with, well, names that we discussed. We can talk about Google, Amazon, Oscr, of course. Novo Nordisk is down as well. There is a reason for that. And then as we go along, we'll see how the pre-market market evolves. And then, of course, we'll do the open and see what happens. Now, pre-market, some of the names are green. Crypto is red right now. Could this be a little preview of what's about to happen when the market opens? We'll see. We'll see. Now, we do also have some higher probabilities of a Fed cut in December, but then again, these things just change every single day. Last week we were in the high 20%, low 30%. We're now closer to 75%, actually. 75%. 75.7% probability of another 25 basis points cut right now. Of course, one new headline coming out, a bit more hawkish, and this thing goes back down to 50, maybe 40% or so. But hey, this is what we're getting right now. Plus, like someone said here in the chat, Jim Cramer said that we're not over the, well, let's say pullback just yet. We're not out of the woods just yet. So I guess we are out of the woods and we can have an amazing week. Well, let's hope so. Let's hope so. Now, other than that, this is what the current pre-market market looks like. So we've got greens, right? We've got greens almost across the board. Almost across the board. We closed out Friday like this, which was much better than Thursday. And right now, pre-market, we are looking at this. As you can see, Google continues to beat the market. So we're going to be back close to $300 per share. There are a lot of positive comments, feedback around Gemini 3, even from Mark Benioff, CEO of Salesforce. He said he's ditching ChatGPT for Gemini 3. Interesting how the whole sentiment around Google keeps changing, right? We were were quite in a bearish environment a couple of months ago, and now everybody is like, "Oh, Google's the best. Google's the best." Yeah, it's a good place to be. It's a good place to be. Fear and greed indicator got to a good level. Oh yeah, let's actually see what the fear and greed indicator is at right now. Although you know me, I call this the BS index. But let's see. Where are we right now? We're at 12. Still extreme fear. Well, we are still here. 12, still extreme fear for now. Okay. I guess there is that. I don't really believe these things that much, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I guess when we see extreme fear for quite a long time, maybe it's worth picking up some shares. Maybe it's worth picking up some shares. Anyways, moving on to the first topic. Moving on to the first topic of the day. Whoa. Oscar is up 21%. When I don't know when this happened, but when I looked at it, it was up 12% or so. But Oscar is up 21%, so we're back here above the 200-day moving average. We're at $16.40 pre-market. Now, what has happened? Unfortunately, I don't have access to the Bloomberg article, but that's why we have people that post on X. So apparently it's because of this. White House is going to pitch a Trump Obamacare extension with limits. So Trump is preparing to roll out a new ACA framework, according to Politico, including a 2-year extension of Obamacare subsidies, that expire next month. The plan would add income tax, but there is a tax thing here. The plan would add income caps on eligibility at roughly 700% of the federal poverty line and introduce minimum premium payments. It also calls for Congress to fund cost sharing reductions and offers an option for enrollees to take part of their tax credits into a savings account if they switch to a lower premium plan. Political reports the White House is aiming to get ahead of expected premium spikes as both parties debate how to handle the subsidy deadline. So I think we're still right. We're still going to have that vote in December, but now that we get here maybe a refresh of Obamacare, then I guess that's good news, especially for Oscar, which is heavily exposed to the whole ACA, whether it's enhanced or the normal one. Plus, it also gives Oscar the time to make sure that they grow quite a lot with the ICRA one. So it's good. It's good. It reduces, not fully removes, because again, this is a 2-year extension and this is just a report. Important to note, it's just a report, but this is a 2-year extension. So it does give Oscar the time to grow their business and maybe depend a bit less on ACA in 2028. But definitely good news. We'll take that any day of the week. And as you know, Oscar's own guidance does not take into consideration the extension of enhanced subsidies. There is ACA, as I explained, and then there is ACA Obamacare, and then there is on top of that the enhanced subsidies, which are set to expire. So good news for Oscar. Now you're going to say, aha, don't you regret not picking up shares at $13 or so? No, because I said I will add once I get more information around what's going to happen here. Seems like we're getting some information, seems like we're getting a nice reaction from the market. I'm still fine adding here at $16 because I do believe that Oscar in the future, they keep executing well. This is going to be a much bigger company than what it is right now, around what is it? $4 billion or so. if they can reach their $2.25 in EPS for 2027, still think it's and 5% operating margin, I believe. Still think it's quite cheap today. Still think it's quite cheap today. So good news for Oscr, for all those that hold it and asked about. This is why, and this is their reaction. Moving on to the someone called this the PayPal of pharma. I thought this was quite funny. The the PayPal of pharma is did they seal it or just no? This is just a report for now. Of course, things like that don't get sealed overnight or signed overnight. um, Moving on to the PayPal of pharma, which is Novo Nordisk. So Novo right now, why isn't it's not on my watch list anymore? Interesting. So let's add it. Voila. So Novo is down 10.8%. So we're back here at $42 pre-market. Pre-market, we're at, actually, let's see what has happened before. Because now that we have this little thing here, so with Novo Nordisk, we can see that currently it's in a, actually now a bit more with the pre-market. It's a 71% drawdown from the peak over a year ago. Now, if we look at the average frequency, whenever they do drop between 5 to 10%, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, or 20% or more, you can see that a 20% or more drawdown here happens every 31.5 months. So more than 2 years, 2.5 years, more than 2 years in this case. In our case, it has been, well, a huge drawdown from the peak back here, June 2021. So what has happened with Novo Nordisk? So Novo Nordisk, we've got some results. And of course, if the stock is down, the results might not have been good. So Novo Nordisk says its phase 3 Evoke and Evoke Plus trials in early Alzheimer's disease did not show a statistically significant slowdown in disease progression with oral semaglutide. The studies, which enrolled more than 3,800 adults over 2 years, showed improvements in certain biomarkers, but no meaningful difference on the CDR sum of boxes measure versus a placebo. The company will discontinue the 1-year extension period and plans to present full data at CTAD on December. So, of course, disappointing results. And I do also think that Eli Lilly is down because of this. So disappointing results. The market clearly does not like it, which is why the stock is down right now. I do wonder, Eli Lilly, where are we with that one? Eli Lilly did become the wow. This is one I did not. Well, I did cover Eli Lilly a while ago, but I did not know it went on such a run. Eli Lilly is the first pharma company to cross $1 trillion in valuation, and it's barely down. What is it? Yeah, it's barely down right now, pre-market. Let's see if we've got a little bit more comments on Novo. Let's see some questions here. Investing in pharma is like gambling. If a trial doesn't go well, you get set back and pay for it in the market. Yeah, but whatever is available in the market is what's making them the billions and billions of dollars already today. But yeah, I agree. I mean, once they want to launch a new product, then of course it is a gamble, but then again, you are investing in a company that's supposed to come out with new products every now and then. But yes, sometimes the results are not what the markets were looking for or not what the company was looking for. It happens. see if I can find some more information. It doesn't know. It seems like that's the main headline right now. That's the main headline right now for Novo Nordisk. Is it an overreaction? I mean, 10% for already very cheap stock. Well, not very. For a cheaper stock right now. Okay. Still in a turnaround. More people were asking, why don't I own Novo Nordisk? It's cheap. I usually like turnaround stories, but then again, I like turnaround stories where the turnaround is going to happen and where there isn't a huge shakeup in the board, new CEO, still some issues with their main business lines. And as I said, I covered Novo Nordisk at the start of the year. Stock was higher, but it was cheaper. I'll explain how that's possible. Guidance was higher. Growth rates were higher previously. Stock is down right now because guidance has, well, been slashed. And so if you're expected to grow much slower, stock can go down. You can still be more expensive than when you were a little bit higher. That's the thing with Novo. It's a huge company. Just the turnaround will take time. It's not a business that's suddenly losing money. It's just a business that is going through a lot of changes. Yes, looking at the headlines, doesn't seem like a lot of things are going for them, which is why I've said before, going with Eli Lilly is probably a better choice, especially when Eli Lilly had a decent, I think a decent drawdown, as you can see right here. Let me remove this. Right, Eli Lilly at the start of the, where was it? At the start of the year, we're here, but then we peaked in March around 930, went all the way back down to 622. Since then, Eli Lilly has gone up by around 67% or so. People don't trust big pharma since COVID. That can be true. People still buy things from the pharmacy and swallow things when they're sick. So two things can be true, I guess. Two things can be true. How do I get those stats on TradingView? Well, as I said, I got this. I got this last week. Honestly, I don't know how we do this, but Vatsal, the person who was so kind to offer and to gift a lot of memberships, he did it. I just took it and put it in my in my charts because he sent it to me. Thought it would be helpful, and it is very helpful. Other than that, I don't know how you do this. Don't know how you do this. I don't know. I am still a noob here when it comes to TradingView. We will be getting better at it, hopefully, over the next couple of weeks. All right, let's have a look at a couple of news items here. So Grindr ends talks on $18 per share buyout proposal over financing concerns. For those that are interested in that, here you go. BMNR now owns 3% of the Ethereum supply. I think that's up from 2.9 a week ago or 2.8 a week ago, something like that. So these are the updates for Bitmine right now. They hold 3.62 million ETH tokens. Unencumbered cash, 800 million. And then as for the rest is, BMNR is now the 50th most traded US stock. Once that was in the top 5, I believe. Nvidia, we've got a quote here from Bank of America. Nvidia's stock drop is due to misreading the numbers. Bank of America said Nvidia's recent pullback reflects investors misreading its quarterly results, with analysts urging focus on strong demand and a 60% quarter-over-quarter surge in free cash flow to over $22 billion. The bank downplayed concerns over receivables and inventory, noting slight improvement in days sales outstanding and higher inventory tied to ramp Blackwell system shipments. While Google's TPU ships, Google is now really Google is now really the one that can challenge, I think, Nvidia. Some people say it's also Huawei. I think Friedberg from the All-In talked about that. So while Google's TPU chips are drawing attention, Bank of America said Nvidia still dominates the AI ecosystem, powering all major clouds and most large language models. They maintain a buy rating and a $275 price target, calling the stock compelling despite a near-term volatility. Click and search. Yeah, but okay. The chat, if you know the answers to the Tradingview thing, you go ahead. I'll continue here going over a couple of things. Amazon, BNP Paribas initiates with outperform sets price target at $320. They see strong leadership in cloud e-commerce and ad growth. With regards to Amazon, we did have some interesting news here. They are, well, you can take it positively or negatively, but they are growing so fast that they cannot keep up with the demand. So AWS ran into an AI capacity crunch this summer, according to Business Insider, and it cost them. Internal docs say Bedrock hit critical capacity constraint, pushing some customers to rivals like Google Cloud. I mean, not surprised that Google Cloud is winning. Epic Games even moved a $10 million Fortnite project to Google after AWS couldn't provide enough quota. The shortages led to tens of millions in lost or delayed revenue as AI demand outpaced what AWS could serve. With that said, I do have something else to show you. You're not going to wait till PayPal's Q4 earnings result to decide on. Well, again, it depends. It depends on what the stock price will do, because they will report Q4 start of February, which is a bit over a month before the options expire. If we're still at 60, then it doesn't really matter what Q4 will do, because we're far away from where we need to be. So the options by then, early February, might just be close to zero. That's why I'm willing to wait now a little bit. But waiting until February and still seeing it at 60 or maybe 70, it's still too far away. But then again, I still have June and the January 27 ones. So continue here on the Amazon AI capacity crunch. This is basically it. It's a good problem to have, because it shows that you have too much demand, not enough capacity. On the other side, why aren't you prepared for this, right? That the fact that you have potentially lost here more than tens of millions of dollars, it's an issue. That's probably also why we've seen AWS last couple of quarters growth not really keeping up with Google Cloud and Azure. I know the size is huge difference in size here, but now we are seeing some reacceleration in growth. I do still think that Amazon AWS will see for the next couple of quarters 20+% year over year growth for that segment. Criticize, yeah, exactly. Also, by the way, regarding all of it, right? Remember, before AI, let's say, became the thing, all of these companies were anyways spending quite a lot of money building out well their cloud capacity. That didn't stop. Now they're just trying to keep up with the demand. It's not like at one point, oh, actually, cloud, we're done. We've reached the limit. Now we're only going to focus. No, there's still a lot going on prem that could be done on the cloud. That switch is still ongoing, but now you have to grow much faster because of this whole AI story. Like you say, you can't win. You can't win with a lot of these arguments. It's on one side, it's like heads, I win, tails, you lose. It's like that. It's like that. PayPal equals sunk cost fallacy, the false hope it will bounce back because its financials show progress. Well, eventually, that's usually what happens with all of these stocks. Yes, if there is a huge disconnect and the business does become better and better, it will eventually catch up to the stock price. Well, the stock price will eventually catch up to the business fundamentals. Of course, when you own options, you want things to move much quicker. When you own shares, you don't mind. You don't mind. So moving on here, also BNP Paribas here talking about Google set their price target at 355. Outperform is initiated. Google positioned as AI cloud winner, strength in search, YouTube ads, and Google Cloud. Regulatory and competitive pressures are easing, improving sentiment. There was news regarding Google. I think they won a contract with NATO, if I remember. Let me find that real quick. No, not this one. Where is it? Let's see. Google, yeah, they signed a multi-million-dollar contract with NATO for AI-enabled sovereign cloud capacity. Yeah, I guess that's it. I guess that's the news. That's the news. Moving on, I thought this was bull, so I was like excited to share something for the Webull bulls, but this is bullish. A company called Bullish, also in crypto. Joby got here a reiteration on the neutral price target unchanged for this analyst right here. Strong UAE interest, vertiport infrastructure presence, regulatory progress. Yeah, Google and NATO, multi-million-dollar deal. Archer here as well. So when we get a Joby one, you usually will get an Archer note. Cantor's Fitzgerald overweight maintains a price target here at $13, which is 81% upside from where we're at right now, citing almost the exact same thing. Applied Digital completes phase 2 ready for service at Polaris Forge 1, fully energizing first 100 megawatt building. A second 50 megawatt phase delivered on time, bringing energized capacity to 100 megawatts and advancing Applied Digital's AI Factory campus towards 400 megawatts. Should be good for, I believe, CoreWeave. Should be good for CoreWeave here. We might finally get a decision on Nvidia chips going to China. When? I don't know, but we might get it pretty soon. Uber has agreed to acquire Turkey-based Getir Food for majority-owned Mubadala, which is Indian. Yeah. XYZ, previously Square, now Block. Needham reiterates a buy with a price target at $80, 29.1% upside from the price we're at today. The key takeaways here, they announced AI products, MoneyBot, Neighborhoods Manager Bot. Okay. Focused on upmarket and international Square growth, new $5 billion share repurchase program, plans to return 80% of non-GAAP free cash flow to shareholders, and it's now trading at 9 times fiscal 26 EV to EBITDA. What is interesting is that if we look at Square, let me actually pull up the... I didn't put it. That's strange. If I look at it right now, you will see something very, very similar. Let's put the weekly here. You'll see something very, very similar here with Square Block. Sorry. Okay, you see the chart? See the chart? This is XYZ. This is XYZ. And this is PayPal. XYZ, PayPal. Block, PayPal. Exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. Quite interesting, huh? Quite interesting. So I guess whoever moves first will take the other one up. Doesn't make much sense, but sometimes the market does not make a lot of sense. I looked at it this morning. I was like, huh, interesting, interesting chart. I've seen that one before, and then I went to PayPal, and I'm like, yeah, this is exactly the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. So yeah, right now pre-market. Let's go over a couple of names here. Dave is up 2.7%. Someone asks, why is Dave not in my portfolio? It's not in my portfolio. Can't add everything. Can't add everything that I cover. But Dave is up 2.7%, closing in on that $200 mark yet again. Robinhood up 1.6. SoFi also up 1.6. Sezzle 1.3. Actually, on the weekly, really a nice, for now, a clean rebound here on the 100-day. Pagaya rebound on the 50 is up 1.2. D-Local 1.2 as well. Chime, let's call it up 1% pre-market. Then we have Webull and PayPal basically up 0.6, 0.8 or so. Sezzle was up on that same day, right? When they reported, but it was up on that same day, 7 point something percent, was up actually a little bit more at one point, and then it couldn't hold that. We've seen that with PayPal, we've seen that with a lot of names, that the market also took a downturn, and then it basically filled that gap from May 2025, and now maybe it might start to make its way back up. But overall, the quarter was a good one. Overall, the quarter was a good one. As for some semiconductor names, we have Micron up 2.7%, Nvidia 0.4. Actually, let's do this. AMD is up 1%. Lam Research also won. Same with CLAC, ASML, Intel. Applied Material 0.7. Nice rebound here on the 50-day moving average. Qualcomm 0.4. Also did revisit or was quite close to the 200-day. TSM is down 0.8% right now. Other than that, maybe let's have a listen. To a little interview, shall we?
Major averages coming off a volatile week, in part on concerns over AI valuations. Joining us right now is Doug Clinton. He's Intelligent Alpha founder and CEO. Good morning to you. We keep talking about the idea of a bubble. Maybe when you say there's a bubble, there isn't a bubble. But where do you land? We're also seeing some of this now even go over and infect the markets in China, which had been sort of pretty resilient, or people weren't talking of AI bubble over there. But now it seems to be everywhere.
Good morning, Andrew. I mean, here's the temperature check, I think, in terms of where we're at with AI right now. If you look at the NASDAQ, we're down about 7% from all-time highs just about a month ago. But outside of that, if you look at some of the core AI trades, the companies like CoreWeave, Nebius, Tempest AI, a lot of these names are down 30, 40, 50%. So we've had a pretty healthy altitude adjustment, I think, over the past month. The way that I think about it is usually there's this sort of 10% hurdle. I think just psychologically, when people see a 10% correction in markets, we're 3% away from that on the NASDAQ, that represents a pretty good reset historically when you think about the dot-com era as a comp. And so I think that's probably where we're headed. I think we might get another couple weeks or so of volatility. But beyond that, I don't see this as a deep-seek moment. I don't think there's a fundamental question about the AI trade. I think it's more psychological concerns about valuation.
So it's interesting. You mentioned CoreWeave, and that is a stock that's fallen. Have you rethought or shifted your view at all in terms of the depreciation schedule for semiconductors, the chips that are being used in these big data centers? And I think that is fundamentally almost the whole game in terms of the math. Either you think that these chips can be used for 6, 7, 8 years, in which case the math makes sense, or you think these chips have to get upgraded, or there's going to be such an upgrade cycle that they're not going to be used the same way 3 or 4 years out, in which case the math gets a lot more complicated.
And I think, as is so often true in bubbles, it's really a religious argument to some extent. It's hard to prove concretely one side or the other is absolutely right, in my opinion. I think that there's a little bit of truth to both. At the same time, we have Nvidia upgrading their chips at such a high rate every 18 months or so, and really creating chips that you almost can't avoid upgrading to if you are a hyperscaler because of the efficiencies that those new chips bring. And at the same time, the older chips, the chips that are now 18 months old, they still are very functional for different workloads. They're still functional for inference. They're still functional for other workloads that we've seen these hyperscalers kind of shift work to, even back to A100s, NVIDIA's chips that are 5+ years old now. And so I think that in a weird way, both things are true. And because of that, when I think about the cycle, where are we at right now? I think that leads me to believe that we still do have more time here to go, because we haven't gone, down the path where we're starting to depreciate these things at, I think, an unrealistic clip where we're still not monetizing them in reality.
I don't disagree with the guy, obviously, since I do own quite a lot of these names. But I do agree. Look, we've seen Nebius, Nebius, CoreWeave, Iron, the other names out there as well, right? They've gone up substantially this year. Substantially. A lot of those names have gone up substantially because, well, they went from purely a crypto mining business to now trying to be a cloud business. Some of them were never, like Nebius. They weren't a crypto mining business. A lot of them went up because they had huge announcements, investments from hyperscalers, co-location deals, etc., etc. And now we've seen, and I'll show you this again. All of these names, I don't think there is one name that didn't get hit by a 40% correction right now, which is good for the long-term health of this market. I think it's good to see that these high-flying names, which are still up substantially this year, by the way, we've seen a huge pullback across the board. We know what these companies have to achieve. A lot of these companies have a huge backlog. They've told us what they expect to do at the end of 25, the end of 2026, so we can hold them accountable. If they reach those goals, great. If they don't, they should get punished, right? It's very simple. I still think it's too early to say that, oh, these companies are not going to have a good business, margins are going to be too low. People are just making these statements to appear in headlines and sound smart. It's too early to say. 2 years ago, a lot of these companies didn't exist. So what? 3 years ago, sorry. So now we can already conclude what's going to happen? No, I don't think so. But yeah, I do agree that this guy might need to get some sunlight a little bit. Let's see what we got. So Nebius, we see here, same thing. I've shown you this before, right? From the peak, really the peak of the peak, start of October, stock dropped. But let's go all the way down, 41%. 41% drawdown. Iron peaked a month later, basically, down also 48, 47%, all the way to the nearest bottom here. CoreWeave. Of course, CoreWeave peaked back in June, but let's look at what has happened same time as all the others. October, same thing here, dropped 55, 56%. As you can see, all of these things happened at the same time, with a couple of weeks here and there, give or take, for them. Maybe, let's go and look at Cypher. Assume Cypher is exactly the same. Voila, Cypher. Exactly the same, also 45% drawdown. Someone asked about white fiber. Oh, what is it? WF. Yes, WYFI. Here as well, we peaked also start of October, all the way down, 60% drawdown. So you can see there is here a pattern, right? Coincidence? I think not, as the teacher in Incredibles would say. It's not a coincidence. A lot of these names have gone up together because one name got a contract, so the market assumed that the other one will get the same contract or something similar. For a lot of these names, it didn't happen. For some, it didn't matter. Stocks went up. And so, yes, when the market goes down, especially with these super high beta names, you will see a pullback. This is healthy. This is healthy for the long term health of this sector. These companies still need to prove to investors and to the markets that their business is a good business, their business is going to be a successful one for the long term future. I've put my money into 3 specific names: Nebius, CoreWeave, Iron, and I'll be happy with that. I've seen a comment here on White Fiber. It's like CoreWeave, but at $6 billion. I don't think it's like CoreWeave. CoreWeave does have a backlog of $55 billion. I don't think that White Fiber comes anywhere close to it. CoreWeave also has, can't remember the exact megawatt number of active power right now. I don't think any one of those companies is coming closer to that already right now. So it has been a very, very, let's say, violent correction or crash to those names. And I'll say it again. Yeah, but the yeah, but again, there is a difference between active power, connected power, contracted power. Like CoreWeave today already generates, right, billions of dollars in revenue. None of these companies do come close today. In the future, that might change, but today nobody does come close. Mubadala is Abu Dhabi. So what? Why did I think it's in? What is I think it's Indian? Maybe there's something else that resembles it. But yeah, no, I agree. Now that I think about it, there is a tennis exhibition game there at the end of every year. Now, again, I do want to say, just because we are seeing green right now does not mean that we are out of the woods, despite Jim Cramer telling us that there is more pain ahead. And usually when he says there is more pain ahead, maybe it is a good idea to start buying. Although I've said it last Friday, there's a video coming out later today as well. It might definitely be time to start looking at maybe the less riskier names out there, the big companies, the so-called boring names right now that are also experiencing a pullback. An Amazon, a Mercado Libre, for example, a Meta, Uber. I added a little bit of Uber last week. These are names right now where, again, I do think, yes, that they might not give you the 10x or whatever. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But these are very, very good business that have seen or are experiencing quite a drastic pullback, all things considered. Right? Again, yes, I know the whole market did not crash. We're only 5% from all-time highs. What are you talking about? I'm talking about specific companies. That's the whole point. I'm talking about specific companies. And specific companies, a lot of them have experienced quite big pullbacks. Quite big pullbacks. That's a long name. That's a long name. If you can write how I should pronounce it, that would be great. But thank you very much for the. Okay, I am here. Hello. Very strange. Very strange. But anyways, what I was saying is a big thank you. A big thank you. I was frozen, but I could see the chat still. But we're back. We're back. So if it's not a margin call that we're getting, then it's the internet that's getting frozen. Can't win them all. Can't win them all. But yeah, overall, pretty good start of the week right now before the market opens, right? With Oscr up 20%, BMNR is up 4%. I do wonder what crypto is doing then. If BMNR is up, maybe just on the announcement. Bitcoin is still down 1%. And it is basically flat, but still under 3,000. Still under 3,000. Novo is down 10%, as we've explained. Any specific names I should be looking at right now? Let me know. Let me know. In the meantime, let's me refresh a feed to see if there is some breaking news that we did not cover and that we should maybe cover. We do have a PPI report, a delayed one, coming out later this week. GDP numbers as well. Third revision for that one. And then, like I said, it's a short week. It's a short week. Check DVLT or Rubric. Someone asked Rubric. My plan with Rubric is to hold, of course, is to hold. They're here. Rubric is still one of those names that are yet to report. They report Thursday, December 4th. So we still have time until that happens. I don't have a price target on that. I just believe that this is going to be a bigger company in the future than when we're at right now. Yes, 3 months ago, the stock was at $100. Good earnings report, stock crashed. I do think that this time, talking about a margin call, we do have one right now. It's the milkman. Just kidding. Just kidding. I'll be back in a second. All right. We are Milkman always rings twice. We are back. These are my early Black Friday Black Friday things. I'm upgrading my setup. I bought a new desk, a smart desk, because I don't want to sit on my behind all day. So I have a smart desk, so I can stand up and work. Bought 2 new screens as well. So will make my life much better. Will make my life much better. But of course, they always have to deliver it when I stream. But anyways, Rubric and then Data Vault, DDVLT. I have a feeling we talked a little bit about that one when it was at the peak during a stream. Then it crashed, of course. Well, it crashed quite significantly. Yeah, 70%. And then last Friday it went up. What do they do? So it's usually a good starting point. A good starting point. What do they do? Get an under-desk treadmill. No, I mean I'm still going to the gym to actually work out and do something. I don't really need to do it under my desk, but I've seen those desks. So, Data Vault, a data science technology company specializing in secure Web 3.0 data management, blockchain, AI. So every big term they are using. Interesting. Data Vault turns raw earth into digital power in a $7 million deal with MTB Mining. I don't even know what that means. I don't know what that means. DVLT tokenizes real-world asset. So it's again the tokenization of digital assets, but aren't people buying BMNR for that reason because of the Ethereum network and things like that? I assume that's the reason, no? Data Vault. Let's look at their results. Let's look at the results. What date is it? 24. I thought it was 25. 24. Okay. So what do we have here? Blah, blah, blah. This capital infusion combined with strategic partnerships, a focus on real-world asset tokenization and the development of multiple tokenomics. Okay. 2025 revenue guidance raised to over 30 million. 2026 went from 50 million to a minimum of $200 million. How big is this company? 740. Okay, so a little over 3 point something X next year's revenue. Right now, of course, it is very expensive if you look at the guidance for this year only. Right, for the only 30, let's say 40, right? Let's say $40 million in revenue. Yeah, you're trading at, okay, a little bit over. But it is expected to grow rapidly. It is expected to grow rapidly. So you look if we have some, still not updated. Still not updated because they expect this to be over 200. So this should be updated. And then you can get better forward statements, pricing metrics, and all of that. Okay. Honestly, I'm not interested. Might be a good thing. I just couldn't care less about this thing. Could not care less. I'm tokenizing family members. Why is Oscr up? Well, we covered it at the start of the video, but in short, there is a report that says that ACA subsidies might be changed a little bit, but also extended by 2 years. Know that it had also gone down 99 points. Yeah, exactly. I know, but what? My question is it the same company or was it an? Well, I have to zoom out so much. Like what? Why was it trading at What the heck is this thing? Why was it trading at $81,000 per share? What is this? 10 times reverse split? Was it always this company, or did they spin out into something else? Did they sell out of something? Did they get acquired? What's going on here? What's going on here? I don't know, and that's why I don't care. Yeah, I could have kept zooming out more and more. Like, what the heck is this thing? I'm intrigued. Yeah, now I'm intrigued to find out what the heck happened here. What happened with Data Vault? Let's see. Formerly WISA Technologies. Okay, so it did go through a little switcheroo. It did go through a switcheroo. Okay, I guess that makes sense. But yeah, I don't care. I don't like it. The other one with the great ticker is C3 AI. I wonder what happened with them. Nothing. That I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. What about the other one, the Big Bear BBAI? Still $5.50. What's up with Neo? Neo, okay, same treatment as everyone else. Back to 5.8. Baba reports tomorrow morning. Stock is up a little bit pre-market, around 3.6%. Around 3.6%. Earnings tomorrow. Reverse splits. Yeah, I mean, one heck of a reverse splits, I would say. It's like could have gone to the Olympics for gymnastics. The amount of splits that happened there. We have 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes until the market opens. Right now, looks fine. I'd say, right? Looks fine. Pre-market looks fine. I have a poll running. Currently, 61% of you say we're going to finish green, 24 flat, and 14 say we are going to finish in the red. We're going to finish in the red. If you haven't voted, you have 2 minutes left. If you haven't voted, you have 2 minutes left to vote, and then I'll close it once we open the market. Yes, we right. Thank you for repeating that in the chat. I usually ask you to do it because sometimes I might miss or forget. Rewrite did report this morning. I think tomorrow we have Pony AI. So we write, let's see. No, that's too long of a post here for someone. Come on. So earnings was a small miss. Not such a big deal. Let's see if I can find something useful. So EPS a loss of 13 cents, revenue $24 million, and net loss of 43.2 million. They have secured first city-level commercial permit for fully driverless robotaxis in Abu Dhabi, achieving unit economics break even. Okay, not bad. Not bad. Then we'll see how the rollout. Goes. Then we'll see how the rollout goes. Right now, stock is up a little bit. Stock is up 7% or so. All right, let's prepare ourselves to open the market, and we'll see. We'll see if everything is still green, because we usually get very excited and then poof, it's gone. It's a goner. All right, ended the poll. 63 say green, the rest say flat and red. Have I signed up to Michael Burry's Substack? No, I did not. All right, ladies and gentlemen, ding, 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 bing, bing, bong, bing, bong. Market is open right now. We are seeing green only, although I've just seen the name in red. But yeah, we are November 24th, Monday, short trading week. Thursday it's closed, Friday half a day. Right now we are opening up green almost across the board. The heat map, voila. This is the heat map right now, probably going to be refreshed pretty soon even more. Oscr still up 21.7%. BMNR up 4, Google up 3.6. We'll let them. PayPal is red. Are we surprised? We're not surprised. PayPal cannot be more frustrating. And to whoever bought the PayPal t-shirt or sweatshirt on the channel, I hope you enjoyed. Maybe it's a gift to someone, maybe not, but I hope you enjoy it. But yeah, it is really, yeah, we should maybe create a club, the Pain Pals. Why is Oscar up? You did miss something. You missed the start of the stream, which is fine. Next time, do join on time or you stay later. No, it's basically there might be some slight changes to Obamacare, and it might be extended by 2 years. So it helps Oscar, of course, but that's just a report. For now. All right, who's red? Novo Nordisk is red, down 8%. Nvidia is flat, new flat, Salesforce as well, PayPal is flat, Adobe is flat. So the painful three are flat. It's like the three musketeers. CRM, PayPal, and Adobe, three cheap names, still growing, very profitable, but not moving. And Nvidia is still feeling the pain from this whole BS AI thing, which reminds me that I still need to buy one share of Nvidia. Because every time we cover Nvidia's earnings report, I do have to add one extra share to the portfolio. So let's do that. One extra share. Voila. Now I own 4 shares. Now I own 4 shares of Nvidia. And I'm still up on it. Still up. 4 shares of Nvidia at $155.6 right now is the average. Not too bad. All right. Let's have a look. Novo Nordisk is seeing a little bit of buying right now. $43.08. Again, the previous bottoms were around 45, so a little bit under it. RSI is not yet oversold, although if it does drop under, might be. But that's Novo right now. Adobe is still at 323. It did drop also last week because they announced the acquisition of SEMrush. I do believe that one should be trading close to 12. Yeah, because that's the price that Adobe is going to pay for it. CRM is flat. PayPal is, of course, flat here as well. Mercado Libre, not really moving much. So these are the names that are not moving much right now. Nu, still under $16. Applied Digital up almost 1%. United Health 321. Sezzle, almost 1% here. Rocket Lab. Then let's have a look here at our chips name. So chips are having Micron is back up 6%. Again, last week, I think it was overreaction. Now we're going back up. AMD going back up. Same for all the others. Whether it's Lam Research, CLAC, ASML, Applied Materials, they're all up. As for our fintech names, of course, 2 red names. One is Chime. So Chime still in the $80 mark. And PayPal. PayPal is still at 60. Then we have SoFi up 4.5%, back above the 100-day. Pagaya up 4%, also back above the 200-day moving average. I have only, for those that don't know, I now only have shares of Pagaya, no more my January call options, took the big loss. It is what it is. Can't win them all. Hood 110 up 3%. Dave was at 200. Dave was at 200. Nebius up 5% before it soils the bed again. Maybe no, I don't think so. Where is it? 6% now. Actually, maybe I don't know. What do you think about Micron? I own it. I like it. There is still a lot of demand for memory, NAND and DRAM. NAND and DRAM. What is CoreWeave doing? This nice day, up only 2%. Okay, so CoreWeave still not getting that much love right now. Iron is up 5, Nebius up 6.2. CoreWeave is still down there, not getting a lot of love. Applied is up 2.8, so this one also a nice little rebound here over that moving average. What did we want? Oracle, yes, correct. Oracle also still down 1.2. So Oracle is also one of those names not really getting the love. There is a tiny gap right here between 190 and 180 back from the June earnings report. We're now at 196. Could we see this one go all the way? Well, all the way. Go down another 8% or so? It could. It is already oversold. It is now, of course, experiencing a 42% drawdown, 43% drawdown from the peak after the earnings report with the huge RPO and all of that. The betas have a long way to recover from last week. Yes, from the last weeks. That's for sure. Broadcom is a name Broadcom I didn't add on that list. Thank you very much. Broadcom is up 5.5%. Okay, Broadcom still doing very well. What is Figma doing? Are we still on the... Yes, we're still heavily oversold, but I mean, it's cheaper today than when Adobe wanted to buy it. Still cheaper today than when Adobe wanted to buy it. Couple, 2 years ago or something like that? It's under $20 billion, and it is generating more revenue today than it did back then. So purely on a multiple, you are paying less. You are paying less today for Figma than Adobe wanted to pay for it. Do with that information what you want. I'm not buying. Duolingo is also oversold on the daily. Also still feeling the pain. The bottom in August 24 was around 146, 145 or so. I think we should learn how to say pain in multiple languages with Duolingo. PayPal is now down 0.8%. Other than that, let's see if we got some moves here. Maybe I should just do a watch list of crypto, but no, that one did not move. And Ethereum is up 1%. Ethereum is up 1%. Let's look at the S&P. S&P right now up 0.8%. And the Nasdaq, is... I do wonder which... Let's do this one. Is up 0.7. Ligma, Sigma, Figma. Why did I even read it out loud? I don't know. Novo is almost at $44. Again, if you can see a recovery, then maybe there is enough buyers at these bottom prices. It was previously a bottom. $45 or so. Ethereum is the universal word refers pain. I think the universal word for pain is PayPal. I think that's the one. LXX. This one? Let's see. Let's see, January. Start around here, I think. So that's up 17.2%, if that's the one you mentioned. And yes, the portfolio is definitely beating that. Definitely beating that. Kraken reported. Yes, I know. Kraken reported. Stock is up 3.2% today. And this one as well, you can see it peaked also. End of October, experienced a 35% drawdown. Now only down 30%, but still up 121% just from May. So I don't even have to go to the April lows. Just from May, it's still up significantly. When did Micron become such a high beta stock? Well, since it got disrespected for a long period of time, because again, I do still think that the market was really just focused on the fact that Micron is that cyclical memory player, that it's not really playing with the big boys, with SK Hynix. Samsung was behind as well, but that they didn't believe for some reason that Micron could become like a serious HBM player. And they were wrong. Luckily for us, we got in, we were right, and now we are benefiting from this. When will they reach a peak? I don't know. But so far, there are no indications of a lack of demand. And no lack of demand is definitely going to be something good for Micron. PayPal is PayPaling, I know. PayPal is PayPaling. It is what it is, man. I'm telling you, the day PayPal goes back above $100, we are going to throw one heck of a party. It's like 3 eternities later, I'm still saying the same thing, and we're still in the 60s. Hopefully not. Could it be a good time to take some profits of Google? My question would be, what would you do with that money, and why would I? Just because it's up quite significantly? Okay, maybe. But I don't want to sell Google. I still think it's an amazing company to own. I don't need to sell anything. You can take profits if you really want to maybe add to another big player that has been hit, right? We've talked about Meta, we've talked about Amazon, for example. But to me, Google, there is a very good reason why it's here. There was a very bad reason why it was trading at such low prices, which never made sense to me. And right now, yes, it is oversold on the daily, might be overstretched for some people. That's possible. When will the day come? I don't know. But yeah, if you're taking profits of Google, it better have a better reason than just, oh, it went up a lot recently. It went up a lot recently because suddenly Google becomes, well, it's the return of the king, right? The Lord of the Rings. I do wonder. Apple market cap is at $4 trillion again, and Google sits at 3.6. Okay, slowly but surely, it is making its way back. Well, making its way. Yeah, quick FYI. Michael Burry, right? Michael Burry. I posted this 10 days ago. I said I think Burry was very surprised to see that despite being a one-trick pony, Wall Street still reacts when he does and says something. Substack, Patreon, and subscriptions on here will follow. And guess what? He announced his Substack. If you want to pay $379 a year for a broken clock, go ahead. I do still think that he should have called it Broken Clock Capital, but he didn't. The grift must go on. The heat map is quite interesting. The heat map is quite interesting. We are seeing tech, basically the beaten down names. In green, we see finance in red, consumers non-durable in red, consumer services red, transportation, energy, all red right now. Very interesting. When you are 65, yeah, exactly. I mean, if you are close to retirement, you've done quite well. I mean, enjoy, take profits, do whatever you want, right? Do whatever you want. I did not. Is it on a campus or something? Or let me actually Google this. Yes, we still use Google, ladies and gents. Rewrite Belgium. Bus. Yeah, WeWrite enters. Wait, the company operates 3 tram networks: Antwerpen, Ghent, and Coastal Tram. Interesting. No, I did not see those. Okay, I guess we'll be on the lookout. I can get a broken clock for a lot cheaper. Yeah, the sooner you accept anyone trying to call the top or bottom of anything is a dumbass, the sooner you invest better. Correct. I mean, he did predict 50 of the last 2 crashes, so I guess that's why he deserves. That's why he deserves recognition, right? Right. Wink. Novo is now down 9%. The Duolingo 1.6, Sezzle 0.8, Adobe 0.6, Nvidia 0.5, Rocket Lab. Oh, Rocket Lab still at 40. Okay, still at 40. I did say I'm going to add when it goes under 40, but if it stays and stabilizes around 40, I might add a couple of extra shares there. Melly is basically down 0.3 and PayPal 0.5. Uber is flat. Transmedics. Well, that one was a good one. Okay, you see, Transmedics is another one of those. I don't own it anymore, but I did cover it, I think, a week or 2 ago. This never made sense to me, the pullback after the great earnings report. Now it's back basically at 136. Of course, we got a green candle here because the CEO bought shares. Alex Chris, take note. CEO is buying shares, showing confidence. You see, maybe buy some PayPal shares, please. Transmedics. This one again, I've talked with it with another person on X. Transmedics is literally one of those names where market cap is very small, growth rates quite big, total addressable market, growth rates high, total addressable market quite big. This one does not need to participate in this whole AI story, where AI or not doesn't matter. And it's, you could call this recession proof, because guess what? Transplants, recession, no recession, you will still need the organ to go from one place to the other. So it's a good and interesting name to own. I did own it before. Decided to consolidate into other names. Worked out fine. CoreWeave is going down. CoreWeave is going down. Yes, CoreWeave is going down. A lot of names are pulling back a tiny bit, but CoreWeave is indeed going down. Seems like it's following the Nvidia. The Nvidia moves right now. Uber is the new PayPal? No, I don't think so. Uber is still up significantly this year. Well, significantly. It was up more, but where did we start the year? I think here. So Uber is still up 26% year to date. Yes, at one point it was 50%, but again, got a pullback here. PayPal is down 30% this year, right? 30%. Uber still up and beating. Why am I repeating everything twice? So it gets confirmed. Like, press enter again to confirm. What do I feel about Siemens? Bit of a slower company, but very involved in the industry. Yeah, but they're involved in a lot of things, no? They are involved in a lot of things. I think they're also in defense, energy, and some other things. It's an interesting company, big company. Did you see to Sheffield? You're talking about Man City. They lost to Sheffield. No, they lost to Newcastle. Unless we're talking about, let's see, Sheffield. Yeah, no, it's not Sheffield. It's Newcastle. I thought you were maybe talking about Coventry or something like that, but Man City lost to Newcastle. Liverpool lost to Nottingham Forest. I guess that's what happens when you partner with PayPal. Guess what's happened when you talk with PayPal. Nvidia, interesting. I mean, I guess, yeah, but I'm not going to open a new position in a 4-point-something trillion company just because I will need to be adding quite a lot of cash for it to make sense. Again, I like the positions that I have right now. I will just accumulate more shares of those. Shift 4 still under 70, $69 per share. SoFi 2 point. Yeah, okay. So we're seeing some little pullback. I only have Liverpool and United fanboys at work. United are playing later today. Against Everton. Should be a good game. I'm repeating it twice just for the guy in the chat right now. Okay. All in all, seems like we're starting the day pretty good. And the week. Tomorrow we have, let me actually pull up this thing again. Tomorrow we do have Alibaba in the morning. Tomorrow we have Alibaba in the morning, Neo, Analog Devices, Abercrombie and Fitch, Best Buy, Pony AI, and then after the close there is Dell. So that's an interesting one. A Zscaler as well, Autodesk, PagerDuty, Workday, CleanSpark, and then that's it. What do I think about Celsius? I do know that Stefano is a big fan in the chat of Celsius. I'm not a big drinker of it, but it seems to still be quite popular, and the business is still doing well, especially now also with the acquisitions with Pepsi. The pullback has been quite heavy. 44% right now. It's also oversold. It's been oversold for a while, actually. It's been oversold for a while, and I don't know. I'll have to look. I'll have to look at the latest figures for that, but I don't think it's that bad of a business to see a 44% dip. What are my thoughts on Nebius added to MSCI index? No thoughts at all. It's the same with all the other stocks when they get added to the Russell this and the Nasdaq that, or if someday they'll be included in the S&P 500. It's nice. It's good for the recognition. Yes, you might be getting more buying, but it doesn't change anything fundamentally, right? For the business, maybe it does show that, oh, look, you're in the S&P 500. It's not the case right now with Nebius, but just an example. Then that means that you should be a good company. Although we've seen some companies enter the S&P and there weren't great companies right after, right? So it's nice, but to me, it doesn't change anything. What will change is when we'll start seeing the billions of dollars being generated in revenue, the margins, and all of that. That's it. Yeah, I mean, I wanted Spurs to do something, but then again, it's still Spurs. So it's not like I had my hopes up. It's not like I had my hopes up for them. Next week is a huge game. Yeah, next week. I mean, this week for Chelsea is a huge week. We play Barcelona first, and then we play Arsenal. I'll take a win and a draw, but I would love 2 wins, but I'll take a win and a draw. A win against Barca, a draw against Arsenal, although I would love 3 points. I would love 3 points. And then we enter a very busy period in December. Hopefully Cole Palmer is back. And then the fun starts. And then the fun starts for us finally. Hopefully we don't have that many injuries anymore, but we'll see. We'll see. I've seen this ticker pop up quite a lot. I've seen this name pop up quite a lot. I don't know what they do. Don't know what they do, and we already have an answer here. You should look at it. EOS. It's a battery solution. It's battery solution for data center power usage fluctuations. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what we can pull up. It's called football, Kyle. It's called football. Plus, you have a OKC profile picture. Don't want to talk about what the NBA has become. A laughable competition. So, what is this? A $3.5 billion company. They design, manufacture, and deploy battery storage solutions for utility, commercial, and industrial and renewable energy markets in the US. They are indeed expected to grow very rapidly. Let's see if we can get first time live what we do in sports betting. No, we're not doing sports betting. We do talk sports, but we're not, and stocks. But no betting here. No betting here. So 30.5, they doubled Q2 revenue. So, okay. Do we have some guidance? We do have. They reiterated guidance, but to the lower end, projecting between $150, $160 million. Okay. Let's see revenue growth. So in fiscal 27, they're expected to generate $1 billion in revenue. So 3.5 times 27 sales. And they can double that. That is something. That is something. Interesting. Okay. What else can we see? Operating profit should profit also in 27. Okay, same for all the rest. As for the cash flow, let's see if we can find something. So, okay, 27 is the year where really this thing might turn profitable if everything goes according to plan, of course. Of course. Okay, cool. We do have, okay, CoreWeave is back up. CoreWeave is back up 2%. That was a volatile couple of minutes. Sports betting could be a good enough investment strategy, yeah, but it's fun from time to time, but I rather just stress out just because my team is playing rather than and the team and the money at stake. But yeah, actually now that you mention sports betting, let's see what DraftKings is doing. Okay, back around $30. Back around $30. Wait, Kyle, you're a Bulls fan. I know I'm right. Thank you for the confirmation. So why is your profile picture not Chicago Bulls? Suspicious. Suspicious. Very suspicious. Okay. I think I want to keep my track record a bit green, so we might we might close out the stream here. It's a good day. It's a good day. We do have, if you are on X, maybe it's on YouTube as well, we do have a new Nebius interview. So maybe it's only on X, I don't know, probably. But we do have a new Nebius interview with Mark. Mark is the CRO of Nebius. It's a pretty, what is it? 54 minutes. Okay, 54 minutes of a podcast. I guess I'll have a listen later today. So if you're on X, maybe I'll just leave the link in the chat. This is basically it. If you want to learn and listen to Nebius CRO, link is now here in the chat. Go give it a listen. Do I know only use Mi Blade? I do not know. Yes, I know of this trick. Unfortunately, I've used this myself, especially in tennis. So if my guy loses, which was Rafa, at least I'm making money. But sometimes it wasn't enough. So we'll close out the day. We'll close out the day with this. Greens across the board, unless we are PayPal, still down a little bit. Sezzle is flat. Novo is down 8.1%. Nvidia is also down a little bit, but flat. But all in all, I think we can be happy that we're starting the week like this. Like I said, it's a slow week. It's a short week. But we'll take any green that we can get. GDP numbers, PPI numbers are expected this week. And then, whoops, we'll be in December, a week from today. And some big decisions will be made. In December. Anyways, that's all I've got for you folks today. We shall see each other tomorrow again, bright and early, or you can see me in the upcoming video. We're going to discuss some big companies that are trading at attractive prices. So thank you all for joining. Really appreciate that. Have a great